You won't believe how the underdog Indiana Fever stormed into Target Center, toppled the defending champions, and left a basketball world stunned.
And Indiana has done it. Their first ever Commissioner's Cup championship, knocking off the Minnesota Lynx.
Imagine a team missing its superstar, abandoned by a veteran meant to lead, and up against a sold-out crowd cheering for a blowout. Yet, when the final buzzer sounded, the Lynx bench was silent, and the Fever were celebrating their first Commissioner's Cup title. What Caitlin Clark said afterward, just 6 words, cut straight to the heart of everything. Stick around, because this is the game that flipped every prediction on its head. From the moment Indiana's roster was announced for the Commissioner's Cup, alarm bells were ringing. Caitlin Clark, fresh off a spectacular rookie year and leading the league in scoring, had been sidelined for 3 consecutive games by a persistent groin injury. Her absence meant no precise lob passes, no step-back threes, and no on-court leadership to keep the offense humming.
With Caitlin and her status, just how did she look? How did she feel today during shoot-around? And is she making progress and getting closer playing?
She's making progress. She's making progress. You know, I think, again, top of mind, I think I told you this afternoon, is just long-term. You know, making sure that we don't have any setbacks. Making progress and feeling good are 2 different things, and we want to make sure that she feels good. We want to make sure that she's confident. We want to make sure that we're not putting her in a position to have any setbacks, and that's the priority right now.
On top of that, Darius Dantas opted to spend the season playing overseas, leaving coaching staff scrambling to fill minutes and maintain defensive intensity.
Listo. Hey, Fever, good luck. I miss you.
Even more destabilizing was the early departure of veteran Dana Bonner. Signed to bring experience and mentorship, she walked away after just 9 games, refusing to suit up, and still drawing her full salary. With their star out, key rotation players abroad, and a veteran quitting on a max contract, critics all but penciled the Fever in for a rout. Yet, in basketball, as in life, a slingshot with cracks often launches its stone the farthest, and that is exactly what Indiana was about to prove.
Dwana Bonner was brought in for leadership. She was brought in for leadership. And do you want to know all that these young players learned from her? If things don't go your way, refuse to show up. Continue to get paid a max contract while you are sitting out, refusing to play.
In Minneapolis, the Minnesota Lynx stood atop the Commissioner's Cup hierarchy. They raced through the tournament with a 14-2 record, and Napheesa Collier had emerged as the early MVP favorite. Experts set the betting line at Lynx plus 14, practically guaranteeing a blowout. Inside the sold-out Target Center, a sea of blue and white surged with anticipation, convinced they would witness another dominant performance. Commentators praised Minnesota's seamless ball movement, pinpoint spacing, and relentless defensive rotations, labeling Indiana as completely outmatched. Stepping onto that floor, the Fever were the classic David against a towering Goliath. And to make matters worse, David had left half his stones at home. From the opening tip, Indiana refused to wilt under the glare of 18,000 Lynx faithful. The ball spun Carrier's fingertips. Every entry pass was contested. Under Stephanie White's "Pressure is a Privilege" banner, the Fever pressured full court.
Head coach Stephanie White has a motto. She says, "Pressure is a privilege." You came into the former champion's house and took them down on their home floor. How does it feel to bring Indiana their first championship?
It feels great. We knew that we had to come in here with energy. We know that they're a great team and they were going to go on runs. And so for us, it was about containing those runs and then going on our own.
Forcing 2 early turnovers that turned into fast break buckets. Natasha Howard's chase down block ignited cheers from the visiting bench. Kelsey Mitchell answered every Minnesota score with a step-back 3. Even without their all-star, the Fever body-checked Collier on drives and tangled passes before they could reach her hands. By the first media timeout, Indiana led 18-13, 5 points that felt like a seismic shift. The arena's roar faltered as a new story unfolded. The underdog was not just surviving, they were dictating the pace. Just before halftime, Indiana flipped the script. After trading baskets, the Fever triggered a 10-0 blitz. Deflections turned into steals, steals turned into transition layups, and a relentless full-court press had the Lynx backpedaling. Natasha Howard, WNBA Defensive Player of the Year, erased Napheesa Collier's drive with a textbook swat, then raced end-to-end for the breakaway finish, snuffing out the home crowd's momentum. When the horn sounded, Indiana led 38-29. In their locker room, Minnesota's stars tried to recalibrate, but on the court, their offense never regained its footing. The Lynx managed under 35% shooting in the second half, their once seamless passing lanes clogged by feverish traps and anticipatory help defense. What once felt like a runaway train for Minneapolis stalled completely, crushed under the weight of Indiana's defensive onslaught. With their floor general sidelined, Indiana needed new playmakers, and they delivered in spectacular fashion. Kelsey Mitchell took control early, attacking closeouts with quick jab steps and rising for clean pull-up jumpers. As the Lynx rushed to double-team Aaliyah Boston in the paint, Mitchell dragged defenders to the perimeter before slipping into open corner threes, knocking down 41% from deep. Her fearless shooting forced Minnesota to respect the outside threat, opening driving lanes for her teammates. Boston answered the call inside. After enduring a scoreless first quarter, she asserted herself in the second, muscling through Collier's physicality to secure a 12-point, 11-rebound double-double. Every time defenders converged, she kicked out to streaking guards or reset the offense with a pinpoint pass, finishing the night with 6 assists. Off the bench, Sophie Cunningham injected instant energy. Her first three-pointer came off an offensive rebound, and her second silenced the Lynx's mini run, sparking a 7-0 fever burst. Awari McDonald followed, crashing the lane on backdoor cuts and drawing contact for and-one opportunities, her fearless drives keeping Minnesota scrambling. Yet it was Natasha Howard's all-around dominance that defined the turnaround. The former Defensive Player of the Year swatted shots in the paint, grabbed 12 rebounds, and orchestrated transition breaks with outlet passes. On offense, she punished mismatches, posting up Collier for turnaround jumpers and hitting mid-range pull-ups. Her final stat line, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, earned her Commissioner's Cup MVP honors and transformed what began as an upset into a resounding declaration. The Fever's next star had already arrived. Even on crutches, Caitlin Clark was the heartbeat of the team. At shoot-around, she moved through drills alongside her teammates, smiling, offering pointers, and seamlessly transitioning into coach-on-the-floor mode. During game action, every time the Fever executed a successful play, cameras cut to Clark on the bench, fist-pumping, pointing out rotations, and urging her teammates to stay aggressive. When the final horn sounded and the Lynx crowd fell silent, Clark hobbled onto the court to join the celebration. Teammates lifted her onto their shoulders, the Commissioner's Cup gleaming under arena lights. In the locker room, amid confetti and chants, the Fever pitch reached a new high. Clark grabbed the microphone, paused to let the noise die down, then delivered 6 words that instantly became legendary. Everybody in the league is sick. No qualifiers, no disclaimers. In that moment, Clark called out every doubter, every analyst, every rival who wrote off Indiana's chances. It was a blistering indictment of the jealousy she sensed all season, and a rallying cry for what comes next. Her words hung in the air like a gauntlet thrown. Across social media, the phrase exploded into memes and hashtags. Analysts replayed the clip on loop, debating what sick really meant: fear, envy, or outright panic. But for the Fever and for every fan watching, the message was crystal clear. Indiana had arrived, and the rest of the league better be ready. Within minutes, the basketball world was reeling. ESPN technicians hastily pulled their pre-edited Lynx Dominate Fever montage from air, while Twitter and TikTok erupted in celebration and schadenfreude. Fans remixed Clark's trophy sip into viral GIFs, and hashtag #EverybodyIsSick trended across platforms. Off-court, the victory reignited debates about WNBA pay structure. The Commissioner's Cup carries a $500,000 prize pool, meaning winners split a bonus that effectively exceeds what players earn for winning the actual WNBA Finals. Clark, already outspoken on league economics, used post-game interviews to highlight the disparity, arguing that true champions deserve more than a mid-season payout. Meanwhile, Minnesota coach Cheryl Reeve offered magnanimous praise. "They just beat us tonight. They out-hustled, out-battled us." Her concession underscored how completely the Fever dismantled the Lynx's game plan, turning favorite status into an afterthought. Across the league, teams took note. Indiana's blend of depth, defense, and unshakable belief has shifted the balance of power. For the Fever, this isn't just a cup. It's a statement that echoes into every locker room and boardroom in women's basketball. This victory is more than hardware. It proved that Indiana isn't a one-star show. They survived injuries, contract drama, and overwhelming odds, and came out on top. When Caitlin Clark returns fully healthy, this group will be even scarier. A roster forged in adversity, with trust, depth, and championship DNA. For the Fever faithful, it signals that 2025 could be a season of firsts. First cup, first deep playoff run, first true contender in years. The Indiana Fever walked into enemy territory, played like champions, and came out with history in their hands. They showed that heart beats star power, and unity defeats doubt. Now it's your turn. If you believe in this team, comment "I've got the Fever." Like, subscribe,